Hey guys, Jake from SS Review here, and here's my review on South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
You got this, butthole. Holy shit, dude!
South Park: The Fractured Butthole is the robust follow-up sequel to the popular Stick of Truth, which was South Park Digital Studios' first go at an RPG turn-based style of game. Now, I'm guessing most of you guys have played the first one, so you know what to expect in terms of the gameplay and the fighting mechanics. After beating the Stick of Truth when it first came out, I expected the same game with just a new story that makes fun of the current superhero franchises, and was I wrong? Let me just say that I felt this game was way longer than the Stick of Truth. It could be from a personal experience, but when I finished the game, I put about 22 hours according to my last saved game. And that was from mostly doing the main storyline. But I don't remember the Stick of Truth being anywhere near the time I put in for this game. It was maybe 13 or 14 hours I put in Stick of Truth, so yeah, they added a good amount of story missions within this game. Mechanically, the game performs the same. The fighting, the traveling, and the encounters, but it's definitely more refined and polished. They have summons now, which can help you aid you during a fight.
It's coming right for us.
Or you can use your farting ability to skip your opponent's next turn. They've added a bunch of character development choices so you can play the character you want to play. It just doesn't stop at the character creation screen, but as you progress through the story, you have a character sheet to fill out, which is what defines your character throughout the game. From religion, race, gender, and abilities, all those are choices that you can make throughout the game. And the cool thing is you unlock those choices by doing certain quests within the game. You can also unlock the character sheets that are already pre-filled for your companions like Kyle, Cartman, Butters, and Craig, but they go by different superhero aliases. The same South Park humor is in The Fractured Butthole, and there are moments in the game where you laugh out loud and ask yourself, did they really just do that? Which in my opinion is the thing that makes this game shine from any of the other RPGs. The creators and the writers of South Park never fail when it comes to shocking and obscene humor. It just doesn't show through the dialogue, but also through certain activities that you have to do in the game. They always do this brilliant thing where the South Park kids try to solve a small crime. For example, in this game, it's to find a missing cat so they could collect the $100 reward to fund their superhero franchise. But as you progress through the story, you uncover a ridiculous, over-the-top, bigger problem that's going on in South Park, and you and the other friends and kids have to stop it. There are a handful of hilarious mini-games that you can play throughout side quests or the main mission. One mini-game has you help a fish reach heaven while riding a unicorn. A fish on a unicorn with rainbows around, flying in the clouds, all in the style of the popular mobile game Flappy Bird, which is just incredibly bonkers when you play it. The class abilities you can pick from range from different types of superhero powers, just with different names, like Speedster, Brutalist, Gadgeteer, Cyborg, and so on, with each ability having its own fighting style and ultimate power. The crafting is simple enough, and the game does a great job of giving you plenty of materials to use. You never feel like you're running out. The crafting system also has its own separate leveling system. The higher your crafting level is, the more powerful stuff you can make. In return, it will boost up your power level. Also, as a side note, there is two different leveling systems. There's your base level and there's like your power level, which determines how strong you are. And the way you get higher power is by making artifacts or finding artifacts throughout the game. Now, artifacts are little trinkets pretty much that give you some sort of power boost, and they could affect your abilities by hiring the amount of like critical damage or health regen, stuff like that. With all that said, the game does feel like it drags on during some parts. There are multiple times throughout the main story where you think it's going to end and you're going to beat the game, but it's actually not, which for me affected how the game actually ends, if that makes sense. There are so many times where I felt the game could have ended, but you keep just getting quests from the main story, which is good, but as I said, the game feels like it ends too abruptly when you actually beat the game. Personally, I feel the game could have ended a few missions before the very last mission, but that could be just me. I also would have liked to see your character as a new kid have a completely different ability than just farting, like how it was in the previous game. Even though they did add new farting abilities, it would have just been cool to see a different ability in general. You do get to pick out how you look like via your costume, but the costume is just for aesthetic purposes. I really wish they could add some boost to your outfit, like maybe the helmet has plus strength or plus defense, and so on and so forth. It would be cool if they implemented something like that to the game to make you more powerful and to keep you striving for something more. But even though the costumes don't give you stats, you still feel like you want to look a certain way, which is really cool because they have some ridiculous outfits that you could mix and match, and you could even change the color. Now, would I recommend this game to people? I definitely would. This game is really fun, and if you like South Park and you like RPGs, this game is right up your alley. It has all the elements of the first one, plus a whole lot more. I would also say to take your time with the game, and don't try to rush through it all. I found that putting a few hours a day in the game and then taking a break until the next day gave me a much more enjoyable experience than just playing it for 6 hours straight each day. So maybe playing like 3 hours a day, or maybe even 4 hours a day is like perfect, but I wouldn't want to rush into it and put in like 10 hours one day and 10 hours the next day and so on, because you might just get burnt out. Because of how the mechanics and the turn-based fighting is, you could start to wear yourself out by doing the same thing over and over again. But hey, that could just be me with the game. But I'd still recommend taking your time with the game and soaking up the South Park environment and doing some side quests. I don't like doing side quests in between my story missions. I like doing the story mission first and then coming back and doing side quests. But you do find yourself doing side quests in between the main story just to get level up or to unlock some features. And that's a really cool thing about the game. Alright guys, I hope you liked this review on South Park The Fractured Butthole. Don't forget to subscribe, that really helps out. And leave me a comment on how you felt about the game. Did you like it? Did you like it better than The Stick of Truth? Let me know below. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later.